Welcome to the Roasted Snow Horror Show,
where fear and dread go head to head.
Welcome to the show, where the screams collide, where blood runs cold, and the shadows hide. Each week a fight, two films will clash. Last week's champ, will it burn to ash? The Roasted Snow Horror Show, where fear and gore will always flow. One film wins, one must go. The Roasted Snow Horror Show. Lights go down, the fight begins. Which nightmare takes the final win? You pick your side, we'll break it down. The Roasted Snow, the goriest showdown.
and here are your hosts.
Chris and Ryan!
You dumb fucks, you just no-clipped into the Roasted Snow Horror Show. You guys are fucked. Welcome. I'm your host, Ryan Rosted. Everything's my last name is Roasted. That guy is Snowman, Chris Snow, sexual tyrannosaurus, Viagra pill with a face, all thing video games lovers. What's up, man? Dirty Mike.
Dirty Mike and the boys making an appearance tonight.
I want
Respect
to know
the
if you
Prius.
can guess why I'm wearing that. It
I got
has
nothing,
to
man.
do with tonight. When does this movie take place?
Oh, 1990, of course, my man. I didn't make the connection.
Yeah, I was like, well, I didn't either until I was like, I'm gonna wear that shirt tonight.
It was very analog, very 90s. I did dig the aesthetic.
Yeah, so welcome, guys. We're talking Backrooms tonight. Hope you guys had a good Memorial Day weekend, and you do anything fun?
You know, I took an extra day off the Tuesday after the Monday, so I had a nice long 4-day. Played some cards with the guys, visited a brewery on Saturday with some friends from work. It was a good weekend.
Nice.
Just some R&R. Remembered those that sacrificed everything to give it to us, so very, very much appreciative of their sacrifice. And yeah, just a great weekend overall. How about you?
Awesome. Same. We talked off air, but went to the Morgan Wallen concert, and he flipped a piano, so that was cool. That piano no-clipped into the fucking Backrooms. But yeah, just hung out a bit. Kids are out of school now, so it's a bit hectic. But and then, did you fit in? Because I know that we had talked about it. Did you scare yourself shitless playing these games?
So I believe I sent you a text message, I want to say Monday or Tuesday, verifying that I was indeed going to download the good old back room. And I will tell you guys, I have discovered a new fear. I don't know if it's a new fear that I didn't know I have, because it kind of goes back to some of the fears that, or my greatest fear that we've talked about, which is, something in a long hallway or something far away noticing you and coming towards you. I have a fear of liminal spaces. I have just learned this week.
I think everybody has a fear of that, and they may not know it yet. So before we get diving into that, guys, so the Backrooms lore is pretty extensive. I'm not going to say you need to know everything to see this movie, but basically it started with this. It started on a 4chan post, which I will throw in right here, but it is a creepy ass caption. Obviously it's a picture of the fluorescent lighting, the weird wallpaper. And this picture was taken in literally a back room of an old furniture store. And the caption reads, "If you're not careful and you no-clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the Backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights, and at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in." Now that's scary enough. This is where you'll shit your pants. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell heard you.
Some of the scariest things of all time have come from 4chan threads. Slender Man, numerous creepypastas, Backroom. I mean, there you can find some, and if you go to Reddit, you can go to Reddit r/creepypasta. for a lot of them. There's some really good horror in there, and there's a lot of things in there that are it's horror that makes you genuinely scared, because it's not a movie that you watch for an hour and a half. You're like, cool, it's done. It like takes 4chan and Creepypasta had a way of taking things that are like real, right? Like gaming, and making them scary again. So that one of the original video game creepypastas is called Ben Drowned. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it has to do.
No, I want nothing to do with that.
It has to do with a haunted cartridge of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Pretty cool to look into. If you guys, obviously, I'll have a movie recommendation for you at the end of this episode. Check out Ben Drowned if you're into like scary stories and scary internet stories, because akin to the Backrooms, it's another one.
Well, and this one, I had thought it had been around a lot longer than it has been, but it's really only been 6 years, since 7 years.
Yeah. 6, 7.
It started obviously with that post, and a lot of people have tried to dive into this, but most successful, obviously, he's the director of this film, Kane Parsons, which maybe the scariest part of this movie and Obsession, or that, like, what the fuck were you doing at 20? Because I wasn't directing a feature-length film.
Bro, the kid was 14 in Blender making video. Like, if you guys want to check out a little bit behind the scenes, go to Kane Parsons' YouTube channel and look at some of his Backrooms videos. He's been making these videos in Blender since he was 14, and they're better than, I mean,
They're insane.
It makes me, what a failure in life I am. I am I missed the train.
Well, and I forget how old Curry Barker is, but I mean,
26. He dropped out of film school.
Dude, 26 and 20. 2 of the last 3 weeks, these guys are going head to head. They're YouTubers that have it's a goddamn revolution. It's
filmmaking, and we had Iron Lung earlier this year, which is also a YouTuber who made a movie based on the game. I mean, we are having, like you said, it's a revolution. It is just, I think I've said it the last 3 weeks. It's further proof that you don't need to have millions and millions of dollars to make a great movie. You just don't. And these guys are proving it hand over fist. Obsession was $750,000. It's crossed $100 million.
Yeah, and
Backrooms is the biggest opening for A24 and A24's history. Biggest weekend opening they've ever had. They made it for less than $10 million.
And A24 has consistently gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the fact that this beats out, you know, Hereditary, Midsommar, it beats out some of these heavy hitters that, and it's one thing if these guys are this young to be doing these movies, and if they're just okay. But like, obviously, Obsession is our reigning champ, and it's for a reason.
Yeah,
anyone could have directed that, and it still would have been number one. But Curry Barker, you know, just knows what the fuck he's doing. All I knew about Kane Parsons was when I was diving into. I kind of did a deep dive on everything. I watched a lot of Backrooms videos. I watched compilations of people getting the shit scared out of them on the game. So kind of had a basic idea, but. For this movie purposes, all you need to know about the Backrooms is that, yeah, it is a liminal space. You really don't know much about it. It just kind of is there. Obviously, we go into, you never really understand why it's there. I have seen some people that are very confused. I didn't find it that confusing. There's some stuff that can be left up to the imagination. And we'll get into kind of where this movie goes. But it does differ a little bit from the YouTube videos, and they're guaranteed going to be a sequel here, like guaranteed on this one. But since you actually played the game, I mean, what are your biggest differences, takeaways?
So there's a couple of different games, 3 big ones. There's Escape the Backrooms. It's kind of the co-op one that you can go together, and that's where something is genuinely chasing you. And there's like 30 levels you have to get through. I played what's called the Complex Expedition, which is a single player kind of thing. And the interesting thing about it is there's nothing that's after you in this version of the game. It's not after you, but the horror comes from, and again, going back to what I said at the beginning of the episode, I have learned a fear of liminal space, is that there is something unquestionably terrifying of being stuck alone in such a vast, it's like a Minotaur complex, right? In such a vast complex that's a maze of back rooms, right? They're empty. There's no rhyme or reason to them, but they're steeped in reality, but it's just empty space. There's something horrifying and terrifying about it. And even though in your mind, you're like, there's nothing out there, there's nothing trying to get me, you cannot escape the fact in your mind that I think something's watching me. I think something is around the next corner. I think, what was that behind me? Like it plays on those kind of things. And that in and of that drives enough terror to, you know, you're hunched over the keyboard and you're just, you know, my cat jumped off the thing behind me, off of the windowsill, and I nearly screamed. Like you're in this environment, this atmosphere of sheer terror, just based on the premise of the game. So in that regard, obviously very scary, very, very suffocating, very, very isolationist. I also played Escape the Backrooms, which is the one that there are like monsters and things out there that you have to hide away from. Equally as terrifying. And I think this one's probably plays a little bit more into what this movie did, obviously, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But same amount of fear, right? The first time you think there's something watching you, but you can't be sure. This time there absolutely is something watching you, and it is after you. And just like you said in the caption, if you think you hear something, God knows it has heard you.
Yep.
And it's a terrifying place to be.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. Even if there's nothing there, it's, you know, in your mind, it's like the odds may be low, but they're not zero.
But never zero. That is such a terrifying thing. Like building an entire game off of that is horrifying. And I mean, I might jump back into it as soon as we're done tonight. It is scary.
Oh shit. And the way they describe it in the movie, and I thought it was a great way to describe it, because obviously, our main character here, Clark, it basically revolves around him and his issues, and he finds the back rooms, and he's trying. I guess this is the spoiler-free version here, but he is trying to convince his therapist what this place is, and what he says is perfect. He goes, "Imagine talking to someone who's never seen a dog, describing to them what a dog is, and having them draw it. Like these rooms are." They're never ending. Some stuff makes sense in them, some stuff doesn't. They're incomplete. And again, there's not really a concrete. You will not leave this movie and going, I know exactly what the Backrooms is, but I think it's better for it. You don't get to know it. And a little more in depth on the spoiler free. Our movie starts off with what's the company called? Is it Async. An async employee, which more of the lore goes into these guys. And this part is found footage. And you know we love our found footage.
Love found footage, baby.
You are put right into it in the first scene. This async employee, and obviously you get the vibe that they have been searching the back rooms for a while, because he says, I've been separated. I don't know where I am right now. Can someone help me? Long story short, you do explore a little bit of the back rooms, but something is chasing him. And unfortunately, it gets him.
Which, by the way, scared the living shit out of me when it did. Because he's in that room with like the wallpaper, realizes he can't get out, and then he just sprints back the way he came, and he comes right around the corner, and the thing just grabs him. Yep. Scared. We all jumped.
It's such a strong opening, and you kind of got that it was going to start that way if you've seen any of the YouTube stuff. But then we meet our character, Clark. Obviously, he's got some issues. He's divorced. He's a failed architect. He owns this just shitty.
Maybe kind of an alcoholic.
Maybe there might be something that hints at it. And basically, long story short, here, he accidentally stumbles upon a portal in the basement of his furniture store that takes him into the back rooms. So the movie follows him trying to figure out what this is, trying to explain to his therapist what they are. He goes missing, and the therapist has to find him. So essentially, we can't really give much away here without getting into spoiler town. So unless you got anything to add, we can fucking get
into I think you nailed it. I think the premise of this one is the less you know, the better. Because the terror is the unknown in this. The horror is what is the unknown.
And there's been some people that have been pissed about that. Like maybe their expectations were of something else. Some people said it was boring. Not too much happened. I will disagree with that. Obviously, we'll get into spoiler town here, but I recommend you go see it.
And if you don't want to eat some marshmallow fluff after this movie was over.
Oh, fuck.
And you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Texas Chainsaw vibes. Yep. But all right, here we go. Take us away, spoiler town.
Let's go, baby. So we start, as you said, in 1990. Movie begins with a found footage aspect where someone, an async researcher, of course, and again, you guys don't need to know like too much in the back because it gives you as much information as you need to know, I guess is the best way to put it. But we have a researcher who's going around the back rooms. You can tell that he comes back to like this main hub that they've been to multiple times because there's a bunch of equipment there. There's a bunch of recording equipment, all those things. Remember, it's 1990, so smartphones are not a thing. Small digital cameras this big are not a thing. Like it's 1990 for
it's box TVs. It's
those of you guys who were born in like 2002, 2003 understand that in 1990, like a smartphone wasn't a thing. You didn't have a TV that was the size of your palm that you could watch something on. It was a CRT TV, which is it's 19 inches at least. You know, it's a big boxy thing. It weighed about 250 pounds.
Try moving that sumbitch.
Try moving, man. Oh my God. I probably developed strength as a child moving TVs in and out of my room.
Dude, we had a huge, I don't even know like the dimensions.
One of the console TVs, one of those console ones.
It was on a stand that swiveled. So the swivel stand was super heavy with the TV on top of it. So
get a picture right here. Put a picture of a 1990s CRT TV, early 90s right here. Okay,
Boom.
So you guys know what we're talking about. And the other thing to say is that, too, there's nothing wireless. There's hardly anything wireless in 1990. Cell phones existed. Walkie-talkies obviously existed. But, again, to the point of you can just pull out your phone and make a call, that really wasn't a thing in 1990. So everything's analog. There's wires running to everything. So the researcher, he's clearly distressed. He runs back to the main hub and he gets on the radio and he says, "Hey, this is so and so. Like I've been separated. I'm not sure where everybody else is. But I'm trying to get out of here." And then off in the distance, down one of the hallways, you hear something. You don't know what it is. Just sounds like something's moving, something big. And the researcher he notices it and he runs away and he looks back. And he looks down a hallway. And again, it's a long hallway. This is, again, one of those things that scares me, right? And then you just see down the hallway in the distance, you see something big. You don't know what it is. Something big, almost semi-humanoid, comes out of one of the side hallways and turns toward him. So then he clearly is frightened and distressed, and he runs the opposite direction. And he's running away from this thing, and he runs to a room that ends up being a dead end. There is a door at the far end of it, and he tries to get out of the door, but he can't get out of the door. So he turns around and he's very quiet. You know, he's kind of trying to hide. And then all of a sudden he takes off at a sprint out the way he came because he doesn't hear anything outside the door. And he's got the analog camera. He runs around the door and it's very silent. And then all of a sudden you hear the monster, you hear something go, and then it grabs him and you hear him screaming and the camera tumbles and end scene. We wake up, or we come to with our buddy Clark, who is the owner of remind me, Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire, I believe is the name of his
because
franchise.
They make the joke. They're like, are you going to be you got to decide, are you a pirate or are you
Sultan?
Are you a sultan? Yeah. Because it makes no sense. And
no sense at all.
No. And this is a piece of shit furniture store. It's in a strip mall.
It's like half empty. Yeah, it's half empty. There's not much in there.
Yeah. The store, it's like, everything must go. It's not a store closing. They're still open for business, but
he's got money. He's got an electrician coming in. He's going to see a therapist. He's paying people to work overtime.
Yeah. This movie, this is where it starts to get a little slow because they go heavy into the character development here. Mm-hmm. Clark goes to see his therapist, Mary, and you find out that Clark is divorced. And he has a lot of deep-seated, just kind of hatred towards his, just kind of the hand he was dealt, let's say. Because obviously he was an aspiring architect, and Mary decides to do an exercise where it's a role play exercise, which I thought this was
not a
funny.
kinky one. Not a kinky.
No. Which I thought was funny because he's like, no, I feel stupid when I do this. I'm not any good at it. And you're like, okay. And they go right into it. She's like, treat me like I'm your wife. I'm your wife you're talking to right now. And you find out that like he bore the financial burden. What?
He came home late one night. She could smell beer on his breath.
Yeah. And he broke a glass. And this movie never tells you explicitly. I've seen some people say, was he physically abusive? Was he verbally abusive? Was he both? Because he's a pretty nice guy from the outset here. But they get
Well, this is where
further-
the alcoholism question for me
Yes.
comes in, right?
Mhm.
I mean, you see him, he's talking about this situation that we'll get into. He's like, I stopped on the way home and had a couple drinks.
Yeah, what's a
you
few?
see him,
Yeah,
what's a few? You see him at night when he's sleeping, sucking a bottle down. He goes and sees Mary later on, and she's like, "Are you intoxicated?" And he's like, "No, I haven't touched the sauce since Friday," which tells me like, okay, so he regularly.
Yeah, he's drinking that night at his bedside, and I'm like, that's like me with a Powerade in the middle of the night. And he's just like,
he's got a bottle, just a bottle of whiskey. He's just like,
yeah. So they do this this exercise, and basically it all comes down to money and how his wife didn't, she was going to school and then she wasn't going to school, and how he had to work for all that and he had to pay for this and that, and he keeps saying, he's like, if you get off your fat ass, if you got so. Maybe not the nicest guy in the world when he's hitting the sauce. So his wife left him. He says she took the house, even though it's his house. He pays for it.
that I pay for.
Yeah. You come to find out in that exact scene where he's watching TV in his bed and he's taking a drink. It's in the middle of the goddamn furniture store.
He just sleeps. Which, by the way, when you say in the middle, you're literally in the middle. Like, you look to the right, and there's all the glass windows that you could just look in and be like, "Hi."
Yeah, hello. Yeah, there's creepy. It's just the whole aesthetic of it is very creepy. And I might be jumping around a little bit here, but before they open one day, he is doing a commercial where he is he's a peg leg pirate with Sultan pants. And he's doing this 90s cheesy commercial. He's like, Captain Clark's got the deals, and
Come on down to Captain Clark's out of an empire.
Are you ready, kids?
Are you ready? Yes.
And he so he's got the peg leg, but you can see his leg. It's pretty dumb, but and they film this. He's got his two employees. They're dating. They're filming. They have the big ass analog camera that I believe his employee got from school. But and he says the funny line, and he's like, all right, guys, we're done. You can open. They're like, we've been open. Like, no one's fucking here. We've been here. Open. One night, as Chris alluded to, they are having electrical issues.
Well, and this is a big key. So earlier on, you see him in the back office, is kind of going over accounting, and an electrician walks in, and he's like, "Did you find?" The electrician's like, "Everything looks fine. Like, there's no, I don't see anything wrong." So clearly, he's been having electrical problems. So he asked him again. He's like, "But the lights are flickering every night," and the electrician's kind of stumped, and he's like, "Well, where's your breaker box?" So he takes him, this is earlier on, he takes him downstairs and he shows him the breaker box, and the electrician kind of stares at it and he's like, "Who installed this thing?" And then if you guys have ever seen a breaker box, you have your circuits in there with your circuit switches. Well, at the bottom of the breaker box, installed, completely strange, you would never see it. There's a diagonal switch that's installed right in the middle of like the sticker telling you what brand box it is. It's a switch you would never see. It doesn't go to anything. The electrician even says as much. He's like, it doesn't go to anything. And he flicks it on and off
like 20 times.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing going on. He's like, I don't know what this is, but I can tell you it's not connected to anything. And he flips everything else. He's like, it's fine. I don't know what to tell you. Fast forward back to kind of what you were saying when he's at night.
Yeah, and so at night, the lights are flickering again. He goes downstairs to fuck with the breaker box. All the lights are off down there. And he's going back upstairs, and he just sees a little bit of light in the wall. And he goes and investigates it. Literally, it is the portal to the Backrooms. He goes through the wall, and he goes back in a couple times, and it's like, holy shit, like, what the fuck? There's a bunch of furniture just stacked in the middle of this room, the first room that he sees.
Yellow, it's in the back rooms. It's yellow carpet, yellow 1978 wallpaper, all this furniture. Exactly. Yeah.
And this part is where not a lot happens, but I'll tell you, if I wasn't about to shit my pants the entire time, because he explores this for like 10 minutes, and each room it's not much, but it's creepy enough to where you're also looking in the shadows. Is there something there? He turns one corner, and I know this probably freaked you out because it's the cardboard cutout of the
in the distance. Yep, in the distance, there's a freaking cardboard cutout it looks like a person just staring at him, and there's like a tape deck inside of it that's just repeating directions for something in different languages. It's German, and then it's French, and then it's Japanese, then it's American, like English. It's just repeating all these instructions for something. You don't really know what it is, but you can tell it's different languages. But yes, I mean, he looks around and the camera pans, and it's just this humanoid cardboard cutout. You come to find out, but it's just staring at him from all the way down the hallway, and that gives me such the willies.
And up to this point, he's taken about 4 or 5 turns, and I'm sitting there screaming internally. I'm like, dude, you're going to have no idea how to get the fucking back.
Yeah, you're going to get lost.
Uh-huh. I'm already lost, and
yeah,
I watched you do this. He goes into that room where the caveman was, and the cutout was, and he finds the bag that belonged to the async employee from the beginning of the movie. He's got his badge in there. There's some tapes and whatnot, and he starts kind of. He finds this kind of like I mean, you have to understand. There's holes in the ground that go all the way down. There's levels
like
up.
It's you know what it reminded me of, especially in the next room with the door. It reminds me of like Alice in Wonderland.
Oh yeah,
he's like fucking door. There's like a little door. It's like a liminal as he goes towards it. You got to get smaller, like all that stuff. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, he goes into this other room where there's this fucking throne, which threw me off. And he's about to leave and go back the way he came, but then out of nowhere, there's a fucking roar, and the goddamn caveman cutout just flies past him. So he freaks the fuck out, and he goes up this slanted, ramp up to this little fucking door, very Alice in Wonderland, like you said. Luckily, that little fucking door took him back to basically where he came. He at least know where he's at, and I was like, holy fuck, okay, cool, sweet. we're back now. But now that he knows about this place, I'll let you take over how he tries to talk to his therapist about it.
Yeah, well, and one thing to notice too, as he's leaving, there's a weird security camera, like a 1990s analog security camera in one of the rooms, and he walks right up to it and looks at it. As he exits the back room, you can see an async scientist sees him on the screen, and you can tell he's just kind of shocked. He's like, what the hell? How is someone else in there? Meaning, they think there's only one entrance to this place, the one that they've been using, but clearly this other guy has gotten in some other place, so there must be multiple. There must be another entrance somewhere. So Clark, obviously after experiencing this, he goes back to his therapist, Mary, the next day. And Mary, she's interesting because she has her own trauma that she's kind of dealing with that kind of plays out throughout the movie. Her mother was clearly kind of mentally ill. They lost her childhood home when she was maybe 6 or 7. There's some flashback scenes to that. And you can tell that kind of haunts her a little bit. Yep. 6, 7. My God, that's everywhere, isn't it?
I know. Sorry.
But Clark goes back to her. Clearly, he's kind of shaken up, and that's why she asked him. She's like, "Clark, I have to ask you, are you intoxicated? Are you under the influence or anything?" And he looks at her serious. He's like, "No, I haven't drank anything since Friday. I'm actually dead sober." And she says, "Okay, tell me what's going on." And he tells her, he's like, "In the subfloor of my furniture store, I found it's like a empty spot in the wall that I can go through, and it takes me into this big complex." And he has sketched it out. Like you said, he's a failed architect, and he had sketched out on a piece of paper like all the places he'd been in the back room. So it looks like an AutoCAD map, and he shows it to her. He's like, "This is, this is what it is." And he's like, "I can't describe." It's like if you told someone what a dog looks like, and then you ask them to draw the dog if they've never seen the dog, that's what it is trying to describe this. Now, he goes into as much detail as he can, but you can tell Mary's kind of like, this sounds very insane. He even asked her, he's like, "Have you ever 5150'd someone?" And she's like, "Well, yes, but only if I think they're a danger to themselves or others." And she does come to the conclusion. She's like, he's not a danger to anybody. He's just, something's going on with him. But what Clark tells her before he leaves, he's like, "All right, I knew you wouldn't believe me, but I will come back with proof, and I'm going to prove you wrong."
And can I just say something real quick? Because he's in this, he works in this furniture store. I worked in arena retail for pro sports forever. Now I'm off site, but storage is a fucking commodity. If I had the back rooms, oh my God, I would be so stressed.
Bro,
it'd be great. I'd be like, "Boop, there you go. Boop, there you go."
Put it right at walk through that wall. and
Yeah,
put it right in
exactly.
there.
Yeah. I don't need that shit. Yeah. Storage was a premium, and I think that actually goes into play on like, do people want to use this for? Is it housing? Is it whatever? Like, we'll get into that though. But yes, he says I'm gonna get proof.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So what he does is he goes to you mentioned the two people he has working for him. He goes and tells them, he's like, hey, I need you guys to come in. I know it's the weekend, but I'll pay you overtime. Like, I just need you for 2 hours tops. Just come on in. So they're kind of hesitant. They're like, we don't really want to come in, but they do. They grab the camera. They meet him there. And they go downstairs, and he's put like a blue tape border around where the entrance is. And there's a bunch of strange furniture in the basement too, like in the subfloor outside the door. There's just like a bunch of different furniture kind of haphazardly stored around, which you can tell he's brought from the back rooms back into here. So sure, he tells them, he's like, all right, right here, you're just going to walk through. Watch. And he gets a bunch of supplies. He gets like a bag. It has like rope and, all kinds of stuff on it. And he just walks right through. And they do it. They're kind of in disbelief, right? But they follow him in. And he tells them, he's like, I want to film this place. Like, I want to follow me. We're going to film it. We're going to prove that this is here. So they go in, they film a bunch of stuff. They get to a pool, they film it. And then there's this one area that they go down. It's like a hallway, but it's sloped. So it's a steep sloped hallway like that. And it goes down to an area.
It's a scary ass motherfucking slide.
It's exactly what you would not want to go down into ultimately. But what he does, he takes the girl's boyfriend, and he's like, I'm going to tie you to this. There's like a bench outside the hallway. He's like, I'm going to tie you to this. We'll hold on to you so you can get down there. And he's not concerned. He's like, it's fine. It's not that steep, but I'll be fine. So he goes down, he slides down, he gets to the bottom of it. And at the bottom, there's a bunch of it's like dirty laundry, I guess you could say. And what's interesting is there is one shirt that he finds, which is the shirt that he was wearing the day before when he was helping film the commercial. End apartheid. Yeah, end apartheid. Well, which makes sense because it is 1990 and apartheid in South Africa with Nelson Mandela was just at the end of it. So it makes sense. He sees the shirt and he like picks it up. He's like, what the hell? And there's a ton of laundry. It's filthy down there. It probably smells bad. It looks moist, which I know is a lot of your favorite words. But he keeps going and he's filming. They're asking, they're like, what's down there? And he's like, nothing. It's just a bunch of dirt. It's a bunch of junk. And he keeps walking. And at the far end of the room, around the corner, it's dark. You can't see. It's not pitch black, but it's dark enough with the camera that you just can't see in it. So he goes close to it. And then out of the blue, you're not expecting this to happen, but out of the blue, something just moves out of the shadows. Like it noticed him. It just starts getting up. It's a really scary, you're not expecting it. You're like, oh my God. So he's like, oh my God. And he turns around and he starts running back, trying to run back up the hall. He's like, pull me up. So I do pull him all the way up. But what you don't realize is that once he gets to the top, the rope that was down there is still halfway down the corridor, right? So he gets back up and he's telling them, he's like, I saw something down there. There's something there. And then all of a sudden, something pulls on the rope that's still connected to him. And it pulls him back against the wall. And he's like, please, untie me. So they're trying to untie him. And the poor kid, he gets dragged into the hallway and he's just holding on barely. He's like, please don't let go. But whatever's pulling on him drags him down, pulls him down. He gets dragged all the way back down the hallway.
Along with those two.
Along with those two, because they're holding on to him. So they're following him down. And then as we get to the bottom and they pick up the camera, as the camera picks up, you see a blood trail from the end where the slope slide meets the floor. You see a blood trail from there all the way to the sideways door. And right as the camera looks up, all you see is his torso and his head still trying to grasp onto something, just getting pulled through that door. So
it's a visual.
It's a visual. It's pretty frightening. But obviously Kat, the guy's boyfriend, the girl working, she's like, oh my God, we got to find him. So her and Clark take off after him. They get separated. Clark ends up in call it like this industrial, almost like a pool area. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They get separated. Clark has the camera. And while he's running, what's the best way I can say it? He runs across a couple of strange rooms. One has like a Christmas. It's dark and it has a Christmas tree in it.
This part, I about shit my pants.
It got you too. Yeah, it's this far. Is like when the woman started walking towards him. I was like, oh my God, yeah. So if you want to take it from here,
well, yeah, because he goes into, like you said, he's going through all these different rooms, which I'm sure if you're a Backrooms nerd, you're like, holy shit, I know that.
Yeah, there's probably some. I will say this too. There were some guys sitting next to me who had clearly played the game before, like for a good amount. And when all three of them walk into the back room and Clark says it's a huge area, there's even a pool. The guys next to me were like, "Oh my gosh!" So there must be some kind of lore behind the pool in the game. But to say, like, yeah, I'm sure there were some things that people who have played it know exactly where he's at.
And a little aside here, I got to my theater. I saw it last night as we're recording this. Theater was full. Most of them were high school kids who were loud as shit during the previews. And I was like, oh no. Once the movie started, fucking angels. So bravo.
And there's not really a score to this movie. It's just
that's why I was worried. I'm like, oh no. Like you hear the buzzing of the lights.
Fluorescent lights, yep.
Yeah. But anyway, bravo. Guys that were at Southlands, thank you. That was great. You had self-control. Love it. He goes into this room and there's this Christmas tree in the middle of it. It's a super dark room. You can't see shit around like
just the tree
the
is lit
1
up,
foot that the light lights up. He slowly walks around it and there's a chair and it looks like there's a figure sitting in the chair. And then you see him push up to a light, turns on a light, and then out of nowhere, this fucking creepy ass fucking redhead lady just starts charging at him.
And she's like holding her hair like this.
Yeah.
She's holding her head up.
She's screaming. You're like, what the fuck? He starts taking off. He's able to escape that lady, and he's able to hear Kat in through the wall. And you can't even understand. She's like, just come get me. And he's like, I can't. There's a fucking wall here.
He's like, I can't see you. She's like, I can see you. How could you not see me?
Yeah. And he's like, we're going to figure this out. And as he says that, because he has set down the camera on like a table. So you see him from a distance doing this. And then something picks up the camera and walks towards him. And then boom, it goes dark. You don't know what happens from there until Mary gets a message from him. Basically saying,
and you can tell it's been a few days. It's been a few days later.
Yeah, because they don't do a good job of explaining it, but time works in its own rules here. It's the interstellar rules, let's put it that way. Yeah. So you don't know how long he's been in there. Could it be a couple days, a couple weeks, whatever? And he basically says on this message, he's like, I found it. I'm not coming back.
He says, I opened a window.
Oh, I opened the window, yeah. And then
the window is open.
What?
The window is open.
The window is open. What are you waiting for? Run, Ted, run!
He's like, I'm not coming back.
Yeah, I won't be back.
Right. And then so she is like, because she has this complex too of like, obviously she got into therapy because her mother was batshit crazy. She wants to help everybody. So she's like, is this guy full of shit? Like, so she ends up going to the furniture store to look for him. And
he told her where the entrance. He's like, it's in the subfloor. It's in the wall.
And so she's like, okay. She goes there. There's one random car in the parking lot, or one random like hobo dude. She gets to the front door, and there's just mail scattered everywhere. So you don't know how long it's been. Looks like it's been a while. And what's funny about it is that she just opens the door. The door's been unlocked this whole time, and no one's stolen shit.
It's 1990. People aren't too crazy yet.
No. So she makes her way downstairs to the basement, the sublevel. And again, there's a bunch of random furniture there, and she gets into the back rooms. And she, obviously outside of the, what the fuck is this? Like, she starts exploring, and she ends up, I can't remember if she gets chased right off the bat or if she hears something coming, but she basically hits a dead end. And there's some writing on the walls, like, which are in a couple of the YouTube shorts. And then this part was creepy because then she looks and you just see this hand coming from
barely,
barely coming, and she goes, Clark, and you just hear his voice, disembodied voice, and he's like, you found it. She's like, what? And then he slowly comes out and is like, and they hear something coming for him, and he's like, it's okay. You got to trust me.
Quiet.
Yeah. And then he chokes her the fuck out.
He's like, it's for your own good.
Yeah. And then since you love a good dinner scene, I'll let you take it from here.
Very Texas Chainsaw.
Very
at this point. So she wakes up again sometime later, a little bit later, but she kind of comes to, and she is, I guess the best way you could put it, she's sitting in a space in the back rooms, clearly, that resembles a dining room. There's a table. Clark is sitting across from her, and behind Clark, there is the lady. You remember the lady that charged, holding up her head? She's standing in the corner, and it's like her face is like split. So if you guys can imagine, if my head was split in two right here, but in the middle of the split, there was another like face, almost half a face. You gotta have to see it to know what I'm talking about.
When somebody had explained that, like, obviously, like, the Backrooms itself starts imprinting on you, so it's making copies. It's just not perfect. It's like the early days of AI. People get 7 fingers, and so I thought that was a neat comparison there. But yeah, she is all fucked up in the face. A couple more.
There's a guy
over there.
Yeah, there's a guy sitting at the table. He's not even. It's like a soulless. The engine's on, but no one sitting in the driver's seat, kind of like that.
He has like 12 eyes.
Yeah. The gentleman in the chair who pulled the lights earlier is in there. And Mary is tied to the chair. She's like, what's going on? Clark has clearly gone crazy because as he's talking to her, and he's not talking about anything specific, he's just like, I found this place, and this place, he kind of tries to explain what he knows. He's like, this place makes it imprints on people, and it makes copies of who's in there. And then he walks up, he stands up, and he goes to the fridge. He's like, are you hungry? He goes to the fridge, and he opens the fridge, and you see the severed head of the girl, the cat, his other worker, on the bottom of the fridge. So you see the severed head. He closes the fridge, and he comes back, and he's like, these people, you can do anything you want to them. You can, there's nothing there. You could even eat them. And the gentleman sitting next to him, he just digs into his stomach. He just digs into his stomach and just pulls out chunks of whatever they're made of. And he puts it on the plate for Mary. He says, eat up. And then, so obviously she's not freaking out, but she's like in disbelief of what's happening, right? Clark, when he sits back down, is like, I want to role play again. I want to continue the sessions. I want to talk more. I want to role play. You be my wife and I'll be me. And he goes back into the time when his wife left him that we saw earlier in the movie, except this time, when he starts when he starts complaining about what happened and how she never helps and how he's paying for everything, instead of just kind of being the sounding board, excuse me, Mary actually shouts back at him, and she's like, you're the failure. You're the problem. All you ever do is make excuses for every failure that you've ever had. It's always something else, and it's never you.
Well, and he gives Mary a little costume.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. He goes to the woman standing in the corner, scalps her, cuts off the hair of the scalp, and he walks back over to Mary and puts it on her head. He says, "You'll be my wife." I mean, it's pretty gross. I was thinking of you because I know how much you love scalping.
Well, and some people have said, they're like, is that lady, the crazy lady, is that his wife, or is that just somebody that reminds of us? Because like he had no hesitation. He was like gleefully scalping her. He's like, whatever. Boop. You're good. Because he goes, these guys feel no pain. Like he even stabs the one dude in the neck.
He puts the knife all the way in. He's like, see? Pulls it out.
Fine. Lights are on, no one's home. But yeah, I knew you were going to think of me on that one. I'm like, yes. And they don't show a lot of it, but they do show the aftermath. And so now she's a redhead, so that's cool.
Yes, super, super cool redhead. And the most important part, though, is when as she's screaming at him, she's yelling, she's like, it's your fault. You're your own failure. You just want to blame your wife for all the problems in your life. He kind of just has a moment of clarity because, again, he's gone insane. Like he's gone crazy, but he just has a moment of clarity. And he's like, you're right. And he stands up and he unties one of Mary's hands. He's like, you're right. Let me get you out of here. So he unties one hand, and then you hear outside of the kitchen, you hear something, and you start seeing it. You start seeing a shadow coming to the door, and he's
and Scalp Lady fucking tries to take off, and there's no
at the other end. Yeah, she just starts running. That was scary. That was like, ooh, this is gonna get bad. But Clark looks up and he says, "Don't worry." And whatever this monster thing that's been chasing them finally appears, and what it is, it's like it's like a deformed replica of Clark, except
Supersized. Yeah.
Yes, 8 feet tall. His face is like almost what you'd see if you looked at like a caricature, maybe, of Clark. Its eyes are bulging and it just looks sad.
What pisses me off is that I saw online somebody posted a picture of the entity, so I wasn't even surprised on it. I was just like,
oh, bummer.
I would have been so surprised, and I was like,
I was like, I think my eyes did one of these because it looks scary the first time it's trying to get into the kitchen, and it's wearing Clark's pirate Sultan captain outfit that he wears for his commercials. So it's got like a pirate hat on, it's got Sultan pants, it's got an open pirate thing. It's kind of comical in that regard, but it's also terrifying in the way that it's 7.5 feet tall, and it just wants to kill because Clark walks up to it and he's like, "It's okay, it's fine. I'm going to protect us all." It's like he's trying to calm it, and then the entity grabs him, lifts him up into the air, and just bites right into his neck. Blood sprays everywhere. So Clark, our main character, he's bye-bye. He's dead.
He is, super dead. And I was so pissed because first when I saw somebody posted a still of it, like the creepy looking, and then when I'd seen the commercial earlier in the movie,
you're like,
he's filming it, I'm like, God damn it, fine. But yeah, so I'm not blaming the film or anything for that. I just wish I personally had that experience of seeing it.
It was something, because I didn't see any of that before. Some
people are pissed about it. I thought it was creepy as fuck. Like, yeah, there's some CGI elements to it, but there kind of has to be. I don't think
the actor they put someone in a practical suit for it, and it's kind of cool because it's actually the same guy. He's the very tall, like high school basketball player. He's like 8 feet tall. You've probably seen the videos of him. He was also the final creature in Alien Romulus, the one that
that's right. I did see that. Yeah,
it's him.
Yeah. So I mean, it's it's just the way this thing moves. Because then you get a very intense chase sequence. Because now Mary is able to slither by the entity as he is having a Clark sandwich. Yeah. A Clark on Clark crime there. Is that cannibalism?
That's a very good question.
Yeah. There's a lot of unanswered questions here, but and there's a lot of different things. Like I'm sure you guys seen in the posters and the trailer, but she's going through this very thin corridor,
it's like forcing itself through behind. That's again, this chase scene plays to my fears because the camera keeps turning around. It shows this thing just lumbering after her.
Or even like she goes into a imprinted version of the furniture store, the Backrooms version of it, and it's actually like the async people have set up. It looks like a bunch of like fog machines and traps.
Yeah, it's like a gas trap.
Yeah, and she actually sees the entity on the other end of the wall, or on the other end of the room, which is creepy. And this thing moves in a very unhuman-like nature.
And that's, dude, again, right back to it, because it doesn't zoom in on the entity coming after her. It just pans up where she is, and you see it across the room. It's just coming towards her.
It's just devoid of emotion. It's just so creepy. She is able to take out its peg leg. So now it's limp, and it's still it's a heat-seeking missile. It can't be stopped. It's just going straight at her. Earlier in the movie, as Chris said, she has a lot of trauma for losing her family home. She had put her handprint in the cement of her family home, and as they were demolishing it, she was there, and she was able to kind of take that as a souvenir, and she's kind of kept that with her. This is how she takes out the Clark entity. She smashes it in the face, in the head,
because it falls on her. Like, yes, she triggers all these gas traps. It makes them both like, and it falls on her. And then she pulls this thing out of her pocket and just.
And she is able to escape into this other room where there are a couple guys in hazmat suits, async employees, and they escort her out of there to another room. And as she's
like an interrogation room.
Yeah, and as she's walking there, she sees the Clark entity on a gurney in a operating room, research room. She is sat down in this interrogation room, and it turns into an episode of Creep.
100%. Our boy Mark Duplass.
Which I was not expecting to see, so it was a good surprise there. You get a little bit of exposition here because you do and you don't, because he doesn't really have a ton of answers. because obviously Mary wants to know what the fuck's going on.
He explains, I guess, as best as he can. He says Async is a company that used to make, again, this is 1990. He said Async's a company that used to make MRI machines. We made MRI machines. We experimented with MRI technology. Nothing crazy. I mean, they're not experimenting with anything paranormal, right? It's MRI. They're magnets, MRIs. And he's like, and we discovered in one of our buildings, we discovered an entrance here into this space, this backroom space. And ever since that, we've dedicated our company to researching the space and mapping it so we know what's where. And they ask her, you can tell he's like, I need to know how you got in, because it's very clear that we only thought there was the one entrance, but now the fact that you've got in from somewhere else tells us there are multiple entrances and there's other ones, and there are more that are appearing, and we need to know about them because this can be a dangerous place. So all that to say, Mary's kind of like, the idea, I guess I could tell more about how Phil describes it, kind of how Clark did, in that it's like a mirrored, distorted copy of reality. So people
you get some stuff right,
and that's you've seen throughout the movie, like as they enter different rooms, there's like distorted and like half finished, like there's furniture that's like halfway out of the floor. Or halfway out of the walls, like there's half a chair that's half in the wall and half out, or a shoe that's half in the floor and half out, stuff like that. So the way Phil explains it, or a creep explains it, is that it's like this is like a mirrored, distorted version of reality. It's like a copy that's not 100% finished. So, you know, what are some things that you've seen? We've seen people, we have seen all these things. Now, the most important part, Mary asks, is after he tells all this, she looks at him and she's like, are you going to let me leave? And he doesn't answer that question. He just goes, it's just his face. He's like, and you get the impression it's like, oh, they're never going to let her leave. But you don't get that resolution, because the final scene is a camera panning around the back rooms. You're seeing multiple levels of just copies of reality and copies of, like Mary, you see copies of her childhood home, half-finished copies. And the last scene is the Backrooms copy of Mary, split face down the middle, one face in the middle and her head to the side, just sitting in a copy of the interrogation room that she's in, except it's completely empty. It has yellow walls, yellow carpet. Cut to credits.
And people hate. There's some people that hate that, and other people are like, "Oh, is she a? Is she? Is it
her? Or is it a copy of her?"
It's like it's a copy of her. And I've seen some other ones that are just like, is the interrogation room that they're in, is that in the back room somewhere, or is that out of the back rooms? Because Bill does say, he's like, I go into the back rooms pretty much every day. And you know, what a life that must be. You go home to your family, because they do show a little bit of his home life.
He's at home, because you do see, because he earlier in the film you see him at home with his family and they're sharing popcorn, and he sees, because remember he saw Clark on the security camera, he sees Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire store and he recognizes Clark. He's like, that's the guy that was in the back rooms.
Yeah. So, yeah, what a job. So there is a lot left up to interpretation here, intentionally. It's designed to make you think. Like, I thought of things. I was like, maybe Clark in his subconscious was the architect of the back rooms. Maybe Phil, when he went in, his memory of seeing Clark on the TV, maybe that helped drive into the entity, because it drives off everything. There's a lot of unanswered questions here. But I don't think that works against it. And usually that pisses me off when I'm just like usually a scene like that, I'd be like, the fuck, come on. But I was like, okay, while I would love for this movie to continue, I'm like, that unsettles me enough to be like, I'll come back for Backrooms 2.
We'll see what else they do here.
Yeah. So, I mean, what a ride. It's, this is the last movie in May that we covered, and May's been a fucking murder.
May's been so. I was going to send you a screenshot today, dude. I was scrolling. I was at work. I was taking a break. I was looking at who am I kidding? I wasn't taking a break. I was sitting.
You're working hard.
I was scrolling Facebook, and there was a thing that showed even news outlets are picking up on these movies. These May movies are showing a lot of things, and what the most important is, you don't need millions and millions of dollars to create good films, because between Passenger, Obsession, and now Backrooms and Hokum, they're like, these small indie horror films, 2 of them directed by YouTube stars, have made
YouTube
more
stars.
money. Yeah, have made more money than Mando and Grogu, have made more money than all these other films. And they're like, they're showing that things are changing and that this is what people clearly want to see. So I'm really hoping, man, that Hollywood is taking a leaf out of this and realizing like these are the movies that people want to see, and that we have more months like May, because holy hell was May good for movies.
Well, and you take a 26-year-old director and a 20-year-old director, like, I mean, anyone that's
These are children to us, guys. We're millennials. Yeah. We're 37. Like, these are children to us.
Well, and especially in this industry, anyone that has been in a power role before and had people work under you, there's always that awkwardness of like, I'm your boss, but I'm younger than you. Mm-hmm. Like, how do these guys feel doing these movies? Like, Obsession's a little different.
Kane Parsons, who's 20, direct Chiwetel Ejiofor, who's 48.
Right, yeah.
He's a stage actor. He got a BAFTA and an Academy Award for 12 Years a Slave. He's going to tell him how to act.
But apparently, like, it worked. Like, he was able to do it. Whereas, like, Obsession, the cast is a lot younger, so it was probably less of a challenge. But, yeah, man, it May knocked it out of the park. The only thing that pisses me off is that Scary Movie is releasing before it can make fun of any of these movies that came out. Because God, there would have been some good ones. Because it's just like we had some slow months here, and last year, like obviously we had Sinners, we had Weapons, we had Bring Her Back, we had a bunch of really good ones. And I feel like May will go down as one of those months where it's like there's a shift here. So I do have to ask.
Agreed.
Is this a tough choice for you? Is Obsession still the king, or what are your thoughts?
I love that we get to talk about this tonight, because obviously you guys look at the box office returns. Both of these movies are crushing it, absolutely crushing it. I wanted to, and I feel like I should like Backrooms more than I do. It's not bad. I guess I just felt like if I had to put it on a scale of like, how much are you telling us about this place to really make us scared? You're telling us enough to make us scared, but for me, it's hard for me to follow the thread after Clark at the dinner table in the third act. I was like, I'm not sure what's happening anymore. I'm kind of losing the thread a little bit. I'm losing the thread enough that it's not going to beat Obsession. Obsession remains the number one. I want to like Backrooms more than I do, and I'm thinking I will probably go for repeat viewing this week just to see.
Okay, I dig that.
The Stubbs A-list is the best thing ever, and that's why I could say that.
And I go to Dolby each week because it's included, and that's great. And for a movie
Dolby,
like
IMAX, laser,
like Dolby is great. I am with you. Obsession. I thought this had potential to beat it, because it did. It was right there, and maybe at the end of the year rankings, these are 1-2. These are Sinners, Weapons.
Absolutely.
I don't know,
absolutely.
Because I think back to some that we had a few months ago. Like I had Hokum win, we had The Mummy win, I had Undertone winning. Like
we had a great run there. Undertone, The Mummy. I mean, it's just been so good.
And BDA is a long memory.
I see what you did there. Long memory.
Long memory. It's a long, girthy memory. Hanging to the left a little bit, yeah. But yeah, so we'll see where this ends up. But God, Obsession, like I have no idea what's gonna take it out.
The only thing on the horizon for me is Evil Dead Burn. And
Resident Evil, that looks solid.
Resident Evil, yep. I mean, I know you already know some bias for me is going to play in for both of those movies, because you know how much I love Evil Dead. You know how much I love Resident Evil. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. We have a lot to look forward to.
When they showed the trailer for Evil Dead, and the fucking dishwasher scene pisses me off every time.
The guys next to me, the first thing they hadn't seen the trailer. I could tell they hadn't seen the trailer. They were like, "He's loading the dishwasher backwards." And then at the very end,
you deserve what you get there.
They were like, "Oh."
So, yeah, there are still some heavy hitters to come between now and Halloween. When we crown our champ. But Yeah, Obsession, Backrooms, and opinions may change. Maybe if we see this another time, we're like, God damn, this is great.
I could go do my second viewing, and I might text you and be like, "Hey, man,
we're going rogue here." Well, and that's the thing. Like, if Backrooms had been released virtually any other month, it's probably running the table for a while.
Agreed.
At least.
Even with my current opinion of it, I absolutely agree.
Right, it's not a perfect movie. I even had a couple beefs about Obsession, but I think this one is close to a masterpiece as well. I do think it's odd that they both decided to go kind of up against each other. It was Barbenheimer for sick fucks.
It was a holy grail. I'm telling you, man, this month has just been a holy grail for us horror lovers.
And that's not taking anything away from Passenger and Hokum. I loved Hokum, and Passenger was solid as fuck too. It's just, sorry, you're going up against these 20.
You're going up against a couple of titans, man.
Yeah, but next week, and we'll get into our recommendations here in a sec. But next week, we are going to do another live show.
Live, baby, we're going live, baby.
Not fucking next week. We're doing this on
Wednesday night.
This is in 2 days. 2 days. We are doing Scary Movie 6, which obviously is not going to beat Obsession. But
it's kind of its own little category over here.
We're gonna have a lot of fun with it. Excited to see it. It's been a long time coming. So I'm gonna slash and gash and throw it in the hole in your ass. Yeah. Play tennis with your ball.
Slit your fucking throat, buck it like a goat, peel your foreskin off, and make it with a coat. Peace.
What's up? So we will keep an eye on our socials. We'll let you know exactly what time that is. We'll also re-release it after we do the live show. After we usually do that about an hour after we see the movie. We've only done it for Scream 7, by the way. It is on Paramount Plus now, Scream 7. So I've shown Katie about a little bit over half. We're just to the part where Sydney is going to go chase Tatum, and instead of waiting
she has seen Poor Bastard in the bar with the.
No, she hasn't seen that.
She hasn't yet. Okay.
Nope. I think that's the very next area we're getting to, because when you have kids, guys, it's very rare you can get through a movie in one night. So, in that one, I'm like, "Do you know who the killer is?" And she's like, "It's a girl." I'm like, maybe not. I don't know. Is it dumb? Yeah.
I don't remember.
But okay. Yeah. I will actually go with my recommendation first, because it's not a true movie. It just made me think, because Backrooms was it had maybe 20% found footage, which I really appreciated. So I'm gonna go the opposite way. A different movie that had 20% found footage, and you know my feelings on it. Halloween Resurrection. But here's a caveat. On YouTube, you can find the 45-minute just webcam version of it, which is fucking great. It is uncut. It is, there's some funny lines from the movie in it, but it is, dare I say, better than the actual movie, which isn't saying much. But
no, I was going to say, it's not hard to do.
No, but for found footage nuts, the only issue is that they do have a little background noise, and I just would rather it be organic. But if you didn't like Halloween Resurrection, but you love found footage, just search that on YouTube. It'll definitely make you think, because it does help out the movie a little bit. So
love that.
I kind of pushed out on that recommendation, but go for it.
I'm going to go a little bit rogue on my recommendation tonight. We're going with something that it scares you in a different way, because one, the actor who's the primary in this film is so known for his comedic roles and his, I dare say, dramatic roles, that seeing him in this one it's so off-putting, and his bleach blonde hair in this film is enough to give you nightmares. Do you know what I'm talking about?
What era was it?
Late night, maybe early 2000s.
Comedic roles, blonde hair. You're gonna say it, and I'm like, God damn it!
Yeah, I'm talking about Cy the Photo Guy in 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams.
God damn it! I was gonna say. I was like, did Robin Williams have long blonde hair in that movie? I was gonna say 1 Hour Photo.
Hair, yeah. Yep. So this one's different, guys, in that it's not a gore fest, it's not a murder fest, but this is so off-putting and so horrifying in that I did a serial killer speakeasy on Saturday with Sean and Jess, where they did 4 killers, 4 different cocktails for each killer. If you guys are into true crime like I am, or into some of the scariest horror films even, the craziest, scariest monsters are the ordinary people who do unordinary things. And that's Robin Williams in this film. He's a simple, quiet man who works in a photo developing thing. Again, early 2000s, this is before smartphones and things you could just upload. You had to take your Kodak cameras to a photo kiosk in Rite Aid or in Target or a Kodak store to get your pictures developed, and they'd give you physical copies of your pictures.
And whoever was developing them saw everything.
And by the way, I have plenty of stories from working at Target in Grand Junction of kids, like 19, 20-year-olds who didn't understand that we're going to see all the pictures they develop. And yeah, there were some ones where we just put a slip inside that would say, "I'm sorry, but we can't develop these for you." All that to say, Robin Williams plays one of these quiet photo developer guys. He works at a Rite Aid. He's friends. He knows the people that come in. He has his regulars that come and see him. And there's one family in particular that he takes a certain liking to, and his obsession with this family borders on the criminally insane. So I will leave it at that.
There's one scene in this movie where I have not gotten out of my head. It's not because like anything like you said, it's not gory. It's psychological, and just kind of the tone of his voice and how he's talking to these people just sticks with me. That was like deep. I'm really pissed I didn't jump in and say 1 hour photo, but the bleach blonde hair screwed me up because I was trying to remember. I was like, God, because you said a comedic role, and I was like, well, I mean, Robin Williams, because he, I was like, he's not talking about Jim Carrey in the number 23.
No.
But yeah, damn, yeah, no, that one. I mean, hopefully it doesn't like Robin Williams had range. This showed it.
Oh, he could do everything. Because
you're right, yeah, because he did dramatic roles too, but even though that had a little bit of comedy, this one I don't remember any comedy in it.
No.
Which must have been tough for him. But speaking of comedy, we'll see you in 2 days for a motherfucking scary movie.
We're so excited.
With that, guys, we'll see you. And go watch another recommendation. Go watch all the scary movies before Scary Movie.
Yeah, go see them.
Fucking why not?
Pull them up. I'm sure they're on Prime or something. You can rent them pretty easily. They're so good. They take you back to that late 90s comedy where no holds barred. That's one of the one things I'm really excited to go see. This one is
I hope it really is no holds barred.
The no holds barred. We're not afraid of who to offend. I'm telling you guys, if you didn't grow up in that time, that was when things were the best.
Mm-hmm. And if the trailers show anything, is that they will lean more towards that. So, because the trailer pissed off people. So, and that's what I like to see. So
that's what I love to see. That's when you know it's comedy.
Yep. We will see you guys Friday for Scary Movie.
Thank you for listening, guys. We love you. Appreciate you.
Boom.
Thanks for listening to the Roasted Snow Horror Show. Please follow us on our social media pages and tell your friends, pretty please.